Welcome to this month's edition of Focus on Health. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Brookmeyer, and today we'll be talking about shaken baby syndrome. And our special guest is Jan Sparks, a nurse in the Maternal and Child Health Program at the Frederick County Health Department. Jan, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, can you start us off with talking about what is shaken baby syndrome?
Sure. Shaken baby syndrome is a term that we use to describe injuries that are caused by violent shaking of a baby by their arms, their shoulders, their legs, and if their head comes in contact with an object, whether they're being shaken or not. This causes a whiplash effect on that child, which can lead to bleeding within inside the brain and in the retinas of their eyes. And that can lead to death, mental retardation, cerebral palsy, seizures, blindness, and even loss of the use of their arms or legs. It is preventable, and it's a severe form of child abuse.
Wow. So what might be some of the signs that a parent or a caregiver might see?
Well, on the outside, there may not be the visible signs that you would think of that the child's been injured. It may be a change in their sleep routine or just difficult to arouse. It may be vomiting, and I'm not talking spit up, but instead it's very forceful, projectile. Seizures, inability to nurse or to eat. In severe cases, even the child can be unconscious and unable to be wakened. If your child has any of these signs or you suspect that there may be an injury, take your child immediately to the emergency room.
So how much, for shaken baby syndrome, how much force does it take to produce those signs and symptoms and impacts that you were talking about?
Well, it only takes a few shakes, and in as little as 3 to 5 seconds, you can change that child's life forever. Of course, the more force that you use, or the longer that the child is shaken, it can cause more injury. Because from the trauma of the shaking, brain cells are injured, there's lack of oxygen to the brain, there's bleeding, and again, that's inside the brain, which can cause some swelling. There may be also some bruising on whatever part of the body was used to shake. If I may, I'd like to show you a demonstration of how devastating it is for a child to be shaken by using an egg.
Okay, yeah, I'm just impressed where you say it could just be just a few shakes in just a few seconds.
Yes, just
and that's all it takes to cause
all
these devastating.
It would say if this egg would be the child's brain, and we'll use this jar, and we're going to say that's the skull of the child. Let me get this one. So if you go and just shake it back and forth, just gently, it doesn't really make much impact, but stop crying, stop crying. 3 to 5 seconds, it's devastating for that child. On the outside, the child may look fine, but on the inside, that child will never be the same. It's very, very devastating to them.
Wow, and that was a good example because it shows how just that might have only been 2 shakes too.
Yes.
And yes. Okay, so how about the ages? What ages does this seem to happen the most to?
It can happen at any time during infancy up to the age of 5 years old. There's a period of purple that we refer to whenever most cases seem to appear, and that is 2 to 4 months. In a child's normal development, about 2 weeks of age, they start crying more. That seems to peak then at 2 to 4 months, may extend up to 6 months and beyond. And it's characterized by being in that time period, unpredictable crying where they'll have episodes for no apparent cause, reluctance or resistance to being soothed, that whatever, usually picking them up, doesn't seem to console the child. A pain-like expression on their face where you can tell something is definitely wrong. The length of crying, these babies can cry for hours, and then evening and afternoon hours, the crying may increase also.
So let's move now to talk about prevention. So what are some tips that parents, caregivers can give to try to, prevent them from actually shaking their baby?
Sure. Shaken baby syndrome can affect any family, and it does happen here in Frederick. So first, take a break. When you feel that stress coming, put your baby in a safe place. Put them alone on their back and in their crib, which is the safest sleep position for an infant, and then check on them every 5 to 10 minutes. During that time then, do whatever type of activity that will help you refocus, like going on the balcony, getting some fresh air, taking deep breaths, exercising, taking a shower, calling a friend to vent, whatever you need to center yourself. Also, Maryland has a great resource called 211. It's a free call in Maryland. Just pick up the phone, call 211. There's someone there 24/7. And when you need someone at 2:30 in the morning to talk to, they're there. And not only that, they can help connect you to some community resources that might be helpful. The other thing is make a plan. When that baby cries, try to figure out why. Are they hungry? Are they wet? Are they sick? Do they just want to be picked up? Some babies are soothed by patting their back or just gently rocking them or putting them in a swing or pushing them in a stroller or even putting them in their car seat and taking them for a ride. Also, allow others to help you with your baby. Whenever you have a child that you need to go out for daycare, often parents will not take time for themselves, but just go have some me time, and that will be helpful. Whenever you're looking for a sitter, you want to make sure that they do not have any anger management problems or that they use drugs or alcohol. And make sure you share with them tips for all caregivers and babysitters, what really does help when they're crying. So remember, whenever you're starting to feel stressed, take a break and never shake a baby.
Wow. Well, Jan, you provided some really important information and given us a demonstration about how easily the inside of a child's brain can be severely damaged, on the inside, and there might not be anything visible on the outside. So I hope that people have heard your message, and I'm going to ask you to repeat it too after I thank you for being on the show. So if you wouldn't mind, would you, in your own words, give that last statement again?
Sure. When you start to feel stress, remember, take a break and never shake a baby.
And now please stay tuned for this month's Medical Myths.
Summer is too short to stay home. Take advantage of your summer freedom with Transit's Summer Freedom Pass. For just $15, youth ages 13 to 22 can ride all Transit connector and shuttle routes from June 1st to August 31st. Available on Transit EasyFare, the mobile ticketing app, mail, or in person. For more information about this program, visit frederickcountymd.gov/transit. As summer temperatures soar, many head to the water for relief. But swimming can be as dangerous as it is refreshing. Drowning happens quickly and silently, but by following a few simple tips, area residents can stay cool and safe in the water this season. Never swim alone. Only swim in designated and supervised areas. Do not dive into a pool less than 9 feet deep or into any body of water of unknown depth. Do not swim under a diving board. Know that water wings and inner tubes are not substitutes for life jackets, and that approved life jackets should be worn around open bodies of water, in boats, and when participating in water sports. For additional water safety information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/health.
And now here's this month's Medical Myths. This month's Medical Myths is about spice and other synthetic cannabinoids. The first myth is that spice and related products labeled as K2, Yucatan Fire, Scooby Snacks, Skunk, Moon Rocks, bath salts, incense, potpourri, and other deceptive names are legal. Because the chemicals used in spice have a high potential for abuse and no medical benefit, the Drug Enforcement Administration has made many of the active chemicals most frequently found in spice illegal. However, the people who make these products try to avoid these laws by using different chemicals in their mixtures. The City of Frederick has banned the selling and possession of spice, as did other municipalities. The next myth is that spice and other synthetic cannabinoids are safe because they are made from herbs. That is false. While there may be some herbs, or rather shredded plant material, all of the packages are laced with man-made chemicals to cause the mind-altering effects. Spice is a new drug, and research is only just beginning to measure how it affects the brain. What is known is that the chemicals found in spice attach to the same nerve cell receptors as THC, the main mind-altering ingredient in marijuana. Some of the chemicals in spice, however, attach to those receptors more strongly than THC, which could lead to a much stronger and more unpredictable effect. Additionally, there are many chemicals that remain unidentified in products sold as spice, and it is therefore not clear how they may affect the user. Moreover, these chemicals are often being changed as the makers of spice alter them to avoid the products being illegal. There are also many heavy metals in the mixtures too. The next myth is that people can't get addicted to spice. Well, people who use spice a lot may have withdrawal and addiction symptoms. This means that they can't stop using it even when they really want to, and even after it causes terrible consequences to their health and other parts of their lives. The final myth is that spice can't kill you. The fact is, spice has been directly linked to deaths, including deaths in Maryland, and has been linked to a rising number of emergency department visits. Poison control centers and emergency departments across the country have been contacted for racing heart rates, vomiting, confusion, agitation, hallucinations, and even heart attacks. For information about where you can get help in Frederick County, dial 211 to reach our local call center. Also, there is good information for parents and teens at www.drugabuse.gov. That's this month's medical myth. And now, here is this month's health tip with Amber Nally.
Hello, this is Amber Nally, health educator with the Frederick County Health Department. This month's health tip is brought to you by the Cancer Prevention Program of the Community Health Services Division. June is Men's Health Month. The purpose of Men's Health Month is to heighten the awareness of preventable health problems and encourage early detection as well as treatment of diseases among men. During this month, set some time aside and get screened for colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer, which is commonly called colon cancer, affects both men and women of all racial and ethnic groups and is most often found in people ages 50 and older. Men are at a slightly higher risk of developing colon cancer. In the years 2006 to 2010, in Frederick County, incidence rate of colorectal cancer in men was 56.4 versus 41.3 in women. Of cancers that affect both men and women, colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer in the United States and Frederick County, but it doesn't have to be. If everybody aged 50 or older had regular screening tests, as many as 60% of deaths from colorectal cancer could be prevented. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that all adults begin regular screening after they turn 50 years of age. However, your doctor may choose to screen earlier if you have a close family member with a history of colon cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, or other hereditary conditions. Talk to your doctor about your risk of developing colon cancer, as well as preventive measures you can take early on to protect your health. Consuming a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, avoiding excessive weight gain or obesity, limiting alcohol consumption, not smoking, and aiming for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise per day will help improve your overall health and decrease your risk of developing colon cancer. Here at the Health Department, free colorectal cancer screening tests and services are offered for qualified residents between 50 and 64 and to those under 50 years of age who have a family or personal history of colorectal cancer. For more information on these services, please contact the Preventive Health Program at 301-600-3362 or visit us online. For more information regarding colorectal cancer prevention and treatment, please visit the CDC's colorectal cancer website. Thank you for tuning in to this month's health tip.
And thank you for joining us for this month's edition of Focus on Health. Please join us next month.